What's up, guys? D Gamer here, and today we are going to be reacting to the most forgotten features in Clash Royale. Let's get into it.
Today, we're taking a look at those features and giving a bit of history of why they exist and what was their original intended purpose. Let's do this. Tower Truce. I remember being in Helsinki, Finland about a month before they announced it and seeing a presentation about it. And there were some concerns in the room about balancing, but I was extremely excited. It seemed like a really cool thing. The first Tower Troop would come out in January 2024.
Alright, this is not actually that forgotten. People still, play Royal Chef Cannoneer. People still play. It's not that forgotten.
Or the Cannoneer. And although the community had mixed feelings about how good it was compared to the Princess, and they still have those debates today, I think the general consensus was that it was a pretty good update, and everyone was looking forward to what they'd introduce in the future. A few months later, we got Dagger Duchess.
Alright, this is actually forgotten. Dagger Duchess, nobody plays it.
And in December, we got the Royal Chef. 4 in 1 year. Not bad. One of them was temporary, but still. And then they stopped. Yeah. I like to call it the 2024 feature because outside of that year, absolutely nothing has happened. Out with the old, in with the new. More evolutions kept coming in, champions, heroes, all the stuff.
Now I actually get how it's forgotten because they never updated it. It's not that people forgot that it exists, it's that
the Tower Chest.
Supercell forgot that it exists.
Tower Troops. Now, you could get them from Lucky Drops, but the drop rate of them was less than 1% if I recall correctly. Today, with Lucky Chest, they don't even appear in the drop rate sheet.
Wait, is that actually true?
I don't know if I'm blind or
there
what,
are Supercell is on something, bro. Supercell needs to update this. This is actually a really cool feature.
Appear once for a Clan Voyage event, but the point is,
they used to have a chest. What? Wait. They used to have their own chest Tower Troops? I did not play at that time. Alright.
Once for a Clan Voyage event. But the point is, they're almost impossible to unlock now. And it doesn't seem like they're adding any new ones.
Yeah, I'm at Arena 17 and I still didn't unlock Dagger Duchess. So yeah.
Anytime soon. It's kind of sad. Tower Troops had so much potential, and it's one of my favorite features, but it looks like they're giving it the old star level treatment these days. Card masteries. I'm sure you have completed some mastery tasks and started to.
Alright, I actually do this. But I don't sit down, click the buttons I gotta complete this hitmaker quest. I have to kill all these enemies. No, I complete them by playing the game. I don't even need to, it's just some easy, 200 wild cards. Yeah. It's, I think it's still a really good feature, and I don't think it's that forgotten also, but, yeah.
This is actually there for most cards in the game.
Wait, my bad.
120 plus 3 tasks and started to look around at certain cards and noticed this. A locked mastery with the words coming soon. This is actually there for most cards in the game. Out of the 120 plus cards we currently have, only 26 have that third slot unlocked, meaning you cannot get the level 10.
So that's max mastery? Wow, okay. So most cards can't even get max mastery? That's actually crazy. Supercell, instead of adding so many new evolutions, new heroes, they have to start getting these masteries back. If you're gonna add a Tower Troops, then stick with it. Don't the next month be I'm gonna add Evos. No, you stick with it, man.
Mastery badge for most cards. It's quite sad because masteries came out in early 2022. Back then,
alright, that's the old masteries. That actually looks kind of better, in my opinion.
Something else to grind for that was free to play. What was there not to like? You get rewarded for using your favorite cards. It was awesome. And throughout 2022 and 2023, they added more masteries to some cards. Unfortunately, they also made the feature kind of worse because they nerfed the third third level of the second task to
Alright, I did
reward
not play at this
gold
time, so
instead of
this doesn't
hundreds
affect
of
me at all.
gems. Yeah, it was terrible. Trust me, the community made that very vocal in them days. But that was it for more masteries. After 2023, we got nothing. Less than 30 cards have the third tier, and it's just been
Wow,
stuck
that's
like that.
crazy.
And for new
Supercell
cards, they've
needs
just
to
been
do
copying and
something.
pasting the first two levels with some generic ones from other cards, like deal X amount of damage or whatever. Something to do, right? Because it would be weird if it launched without any. And masteries have only suffered more since then. In 2025, following the removal of banner boxes, they've replaced the tokens with gold. And they also nerfed the gems earned from all tasks a few
Wow.
months later. So
That's
on top
crazy.
of not updating the feature at all, they slowly made the rewards worse and less special. And it's a shame because it's such
So far, this is a really banger video. Like, I didn't even know that Supercell didn't even do this yet. So weird.
a great feature, but it ended up as just another feature that they never finished. Private tournaments. When they first
what?
released
This
in
is a
July
thing?
2016, they were called just tournaments. One word. It was intended to let players create their own tournaments using their own.
This is actually really good. Like, I never knew this had. You could make private tournaments. Like, you could, like. That's crazy, man.
Gems, and the gems will become the prize pool in the form of chests. So the more gems you spent, the bigger the prizes would be. This would later be renamed to custom tournaments, and the gem costs were considerably reduced. But at the time, this was alright. You could still create tournaments where you and your friends could fight for in-game rewards, and it remained this way for a while. However,
This is actually really good. I don't. Wait. Boring? Wait, I want to watch this actually.
over time, players got tired of it. They wanted a revamp, make tournaments great again. They suck. So, in December 2018, Supercell gave us what we wanted by splitting tournaments into two different features. Global tournaments and private tournaments, which was the OG tournament system, just stripped out of all of its rewards. It was pretty clear that global
That's
tournaments
really
were
good.
supposed to be the tournament revamp that everyone was asking for, because those had rewards and like a leaderboard and stuff like that. But private tournaments were just there to exist, and they almost immediately abandoned it. A few weeks later, they would add one extra setting to them, and that was it. That was the last time.
Supercell needs to stop. Like, they just make random updates without telling the community at all.
Revamp that everyone was asking for, because
So
those
you get
had
rewards,
and
everything looks
leaderboards,
good,
stuff like that. But private tournaments
and then
were just there to
all of a
exist,
sudden,
and
they just
almost
throw in a
immediately
max
abandoned
losses.
it. A few weeks later, they would add one extra setting to them, and that was it. That was the last
My
time
God.
they updated private tournaments. Now, sure, there are many who still use the feature. The whole idea is to have
I never
prize
even knew this was a
outside
thing.
the game. In that case, it makes the feature not so bad. But that's not the point of the video. Private tournaments have been the exact same since January 2019, with nothing done to it. It's been forgotten. There's been many ideas floating around for years, mostly just asking for more customization.
Oh,
but Supercell,
yeah.
it's like the feature doesn't even exist.
Yeah, Supercell
They even
needs
put
to
it
listen
behind
to
a
the
menu that
community.
players rarely check. So some are baffled at the realization that they are still in the game. And I'm not sure if they'll
Yeah, I didn't
ever
know this was in
update
the
it.
game at all.
It does what it needs to do, so it'll likely remain that way. But it's still unfortunate that they never did anything else with it. They didn't even improve it over the years. Star levels. Okay, I think everyone knew this would be on this list because it's basically been the poster boy of forgotten features.
I love
Star
this.
levels were
I love this Supercell thing. I don't know. This is actually the really good one.
boy of forgotten features. Star levels were added in 2018, and at the time, they were supposed to be end-game content. When you max your card out, you get star points, and you could buy some cool golden skins with it.
Yeah.
It was just something for high-level players to grind for. It never had a purpose, just cool skins. However, the bulk of new skins
They should actually keep this, but they should add card skins, like not just making it gold, but they should add kind of like what they did with Shelly and Hunter and Bo and Magic Archer. They need to do something like that, but permanent. like you know, like Brawl Stars where they have a bunch of skins for each brawler. They need to add that into Clash Royale.
Were added in 2019. In 2020, the only card to get a skin was the Mother Witch, and she got a 3rd level in 2021, and that was it. It's kind of weird how they went back for the Mother Witch only, but for everything else, they stopped getting updated in 2019. Less than a year after the feature had launched.
That's crazy.
The only thing they would add to new cards is the 1st star level, which isn't a skin, but just a golden deploy effect, and it spells a golden glow, but no skins. There was a change to the star level system in 2021 where they lowered the king level requirement from level 13 to 6 and increased the star points earned from upgrades. So now they were more accessible.
Wait,
and
is that what Valkyrie looked like? Is that Valkyrie? That's crazy.
Open to most players. This was because by 2021 there was other endgame content, so locking skins behind a high level didn't make much sense anymore. But with the introduction of champions, they didn't even bother adding any to those. And by 2025, it seems
Wait, you can't get star level on champions? I did not know that.
They stopped adding even the 1st level to new cards, as the Spirit Impress is currently the only non-champion without it. When they reworked the 3 Musketeers in November 2025, they were forced to update the star level 2 for it, I guess. You can't just remove it, but it looks like they didn't even put much effort into it, as only 1 of the 3 has golden features.
Supercell is so lazy, guys. So lazy.
I don't think they'll remove it. I just think that they'll eventually rework it into a different troop skin system and maybe
that's actually better.
A bunch of star points. Trade tokens and the trader. Introduced in September 2018.
This is actually kind of forgotten, but I just look at the trader in the shop like once in a while.
It seemed like the most obvious feature to have, right? It's a card game after all. Trade cards you don't want for something you do want. And at the time, they were pretty accessible. You could find them in challenges, clan.
I never get any trade
tokens. They pop up in Pass Royale and Trophy Room. For a while, it was pretty good. Trade tokens were easy to come by, and all was well. In 2020, they even introduced the Trader, a permanent card trader that sat in the Royal River and in the shop. However, in that same update, for some reason, they've removed tokens from Clan Wars, and ever since, their availability has been on a downward trend. They stopped appearing in shop offers. Wild cards slowly replaced the tokens throughout the game, and they would rarely be offered through events. It became like the forgotten magic item of sorts. By 2023, the only reliable way to obtain any trade tokens was to participate in a global tournament. But even those stopped appearing in the summer of 2025.
Supercell, if you're gonna add something, don't let it die. Like, every time they're like, oh yeah, trade tokens, oh trader. And then they may let it die. If you're gonna let it die, don't add it in the first place. Add something that you're actually gonna let the community have. Or wait.
Unattainable outside of a few rare instances where they offered it in a tiered bundle. Of course, they would appear there. And for months, almost no one had any until they gave away some for Christmas that year.
This is the only time I got something. Right here.
There is no way to obtain them. Now, this could change in 2026, hopefully. But as of right now, it feels like the entire trade system has been totally forgotten. Until global tournaments come back, if they ever do, and they add them back into events, they'll remain this scarce item that makes trading a thing of the past. Hopefully, they don't give up on it and keep it in the game and just give us more tokens. Clan Wars and clans in general. This is mostly about Clan Wars here, but I did have a few things to say about clans as well. So Clan Wars, whether you like it or not, I think we can all agree that Supercell has completely forgot about this feature. Or they choose to ignore it like everything else in this video because it hasn't received an update in years. The current iteration of Clan Wars was added in 2020. At the time, this was just supposed to be a massive overhaul to Clan Wars, but I'm sure you've heard many times that it was one of the most disappointing updates in Clash history. They overcomplicated Clan Wars with the new system. They made it boring, it was a buggy mess, and they removed some beloved features along with it. A lot of players left after this update, while others
I don't even
really
bother to check my clan.
Throughout 2020 and 2021, they would improve the Clan Wars 2 experience by adding some quality of life changes. However, it all felt like a lost cause because the problem was that people were already looking forward to Clan Wars 3. This was more of a joke, of course, but the feelings were real. Players either wanted Supercell to put the OG Clan Wars back, which was unlikely to happen, or overhaul it again, which was also unlikely to happen. So 2021 was the last time they did anything with it. Today, it has the same look, same terrible matchmaking, and the same outdated reward
Nobody
system.
plays
Most
this.
players ignore it these days, ending up in this screen by accident and being forced to deal with dual decks and the increasingly confusing deck UI across the entire game.
Yeah,
Speaking of UI,
definitely.
clans have also been the exact same since 2020, even having some UI elements straight out of 2016. It's a bummer that they never did anything with it in terms of looks, functionality, and features. It's just been frozen in time with
Nobody
Clan Wars
plays
2.
Clan Wars.
Super cards. Yeah, those wacky cards that appear in events every now and then. Like everything else in this video, they are still in the game, but the current selection of super cards has been the same since 2024. They don't make them anymore. The reason for this
they
is
don't.
because super cards came from an era of Clash Royale before Evolutions and Heroes. In February 2022,
Yeah, so
developers
it
had the
replaced
brilliant
it.
idea of
Evolutions
introducing
replaced
super
the
versions
super
of
cards.
existing cards that were only available in specific events. And the first of these was the Super Lava Hound. Throughout 2022, they'd make 4 of these, the others being the Super Witch, Super Mini P.E.K.K.A, and Santa Hog Rider. And basically, they were the same cards we all know and love, but with some extra wacky abilities. Like the Santa Hog Rider, he dropped random gifts, and these gifts were like spell traps that would activate when a troop walked past it. In 2023, they added 5 more of them, and in 2024, only 2. The last one being the Super Knight. That makes a total of 11. Now, there are some older temporary cards that are sometimes classed as super cards, but that's besides the point. At the time, what was really the focus was evolutions. That was the new hottest thing, which were similar, but permanent. Supercell was probably like, why are we putting so much time and effort making temporary cards when we can make more permanent ones? And so they stopped making them. Evolutions became the new super cards, and then Heroes. This doesn't mean that they won't
Heroes?
add more
I don't know
temporary cards in the
why they
future,
added
but
Heroes.
The whole concept
It
of
is
super cards hasn't been
just
a thing
add
for
an
a really long
evolution.
time.
It's
They'll
not that
likely
hard.
remain the same selection of wacky cards that come around once in a blue moon. But yeah, that is every feature that I would consider forgotten by developers. Hopefully in 2026 they revisit some of these. I really want trading to make a great comeback, be a normal thing of our gameplay experience and not something we do every now and then. And skins. I mean, we were promised a future that
skins.
never arrived, Anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed.
Alright.
Hey.
Guys, another banger. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I post my next video. And yeah, peace out.